Welcome back. The world's fourth most populous nation, Indonesia, votes for its president on Wednesday. It's only the second time in the country's history that citizens have been able to directly elect their leader. Joining me in Washington, D.C. to discuss the issues facing the voters is Indonesia's ambassador to the U.S., Sujadnan Parno Hadiningrat. He's had a long career with Indonesia's foreign service, including a posting as ambassador to Australia and Vanuatu. And from Jakarta, our guest is Bambang Harimurti, the award-winning editor-in-chief of Tempo, which produces a popular daily newspaper and weekly news magazines. His articles have made him a target for Indonesia's government in the past. Now, as we get back to our discussion, Ambassador, we had a question from our chat room that's going live as we go live from Charles in the USA, who says, what does this election mean for Jamaah Islamiyah?
Well, as I said, this is an implementation of the principle of democracy. And if there is anyone or group of people who is for this Jamaah Islamiyah, then it is their right. So, but the fact that in the last elections, parliamentary elections, the Islamic-based political parties gain only very small number of population of percentage, then I don't think that will mean much for the Jamaah Islamiyah.
I guess, Ambassador, it's interesting because from the West, it watches very closely as Muslim nations. They worry about them going towards a very sort of hardline Islamic kind of democracy or rule, even. But in Indonesia, it doesn't seem religion is such a big issue.
Well, as you may notice from the result of the last parliamentary elections, something like more than 90% of non-religious based political parties gain their votes. So only about less than 8% of the real religious-based political parties that run the elections that got the vote of, as I said, around 8%. So Indonesians knows what they choose for their political life. They choose for them to run the country, and no, we are going to witness what is going to happen in the presidential elections.
Let me ask Bambang Harimurti in Jakarta. There, you of course you were trained in you studied in the United States. I wonder how Indonesia's relationship with the United States has changed ever since the falling out over East Timor about a decade ago, and how you think that the U.S.-Indonesian relationship will continue to progress.
I think our relationship will be better. In fact, I think President Yudhoyono will be given a medal for democratic progress, and he will speak at the U.S. Congress sometime in September. And he is known as a good friend of the U.S. But my worry is only because the U.S. is very much concentrated on its own domestic problem, that we might be a little bit off U.S. radar screen. Although we are hoping that by November, President Obama, which used to live in Indonesia a long time ago, will visit Indonesia, and it will improve our relationship by that time.
Okay, Ambassador, of course, the President's Yudhoyono's term in office has been marked with a strong improvement in the economy, his willingness to tackle corruption and so on. And I guess he's also been, praised for ending the decades-long war in Aceh. And so, I mean, how is it that he has been able to achieve this in that first term that he's had, and how do you think you can continue to do this?
Well, as you see, the questions of Aceh has been with us for nearly 25 or 36 years, and the fact that he was so ably in tackling the conflicts in coincidence with the occurrence of the incidents of tsunami. So we expect that what he has been doing so far will be continued in terms of getting the support of most of the people of Indonesia. So we are very optimistic that he is going to, if it is going to be elected, then he is going to continue what he has done.
Bambang Harimurti, I wonder on the issue of the environment, because that's one area where people do criticize Indonesia's track record, is that with the natural resources and harvesting of the resources could lead to serious environmental problems. Of course, there's been a toxic mudslide that's been going on in the news domestically, and I know that there was the issue of a mine disaster that killed more than 2 dozen workers. How confident are the people of Indonesia about the President's track record when it comes to the environment, and in the kind of, does he have the strength to put in the kind of controls that are needed?
Well, so far he has been credited with planning all the right thing, but he has been criticized on the implementing side as being too slow. nobody is criticizing him for direction, or at least almost nobody. But a lot of his critique is about the pace of the implementation. So I think he has heard all this critique, especially during the presidential debate here. And I'm hoping that in his second term, he will be more faster in implementing all his good plan. This is really the hope of many people like me.
Bambang, is there a strong sense that if President Yudhoyono gets a second term, that he really can start to consolidate his power, that he can actually start to perhaps get people in that that are much more sort of middle of the road? Because many people are saying that he had to appease a lot of people from the old guard in the first term. Perhaps in the second term he has more freedom to improve the people around him as well.
Well, the optimist side of me is hoping that because he come from a bigger base of political force now. His own party won 20%, which is the largest in the last legislative election, which is 3 times more than what he won 5 years ago. A lot of people are hoping that he will have a much stronger cabinet because he doesn't have to compromise a lot to other political forces. He can put really good, competent people based on merit. But of course, this remains to be seen. Although the fact that he chose a non-political figure known as a good, a competent technocrat as his vice president's candidate is already a positive sign. And if he won this term, which I predict he will easily win in just 1 round, he will probably form a better cabinet and perform better and faster in implementing all his good plan.
We've got Shaukat on the line from the UK. Shaukat, what would you like
on the other side, on my pessimist side,
go ahead, Bambang.
I'm worried that he will not be still fast enough, and we have a population growth. We are worried that unemployment will grow if he doesn't, do his job in a faster mode. Okay,
we have Shaukat on the line from the United Kingdom. Shaukat, what would you like to ask?
Yeah, I'd like to say maintaining law and order is a big issue in Indonesia. I know the present government done quite well on this, but out of all the candidates, which candidate is best to deliver this? Thank you.
Okay, Bambang, I guess that's a quick question for you on that, your perspective.
The question is which candidate?
Best for security, yeah.
Yudhoyono will be the best to do this because he is known to be the cleanest of them all. I think a lot of the problem of law and order in Indonesia is caused by corruptions issues, and the other candidates are not perceived as clean as President Yudhoyono.
Okay. Ambassador, you know that decentralization of the national government's been underway throughout Indonesia since the fall of Suharto more than a decade ago now. Regional autonomy is being granted to certain provinces, like Aceh, of course, but some are concerned this could lead to sort of territorial loss. And I wonder, when it comes to that issue of Indonesia losing that kind of control of its territory, how much that is playing up with the voters, how much that is an issue for the voters?
Well, we are very confident that our people knows that they are Indonesia, and the devolution process that has been taking place within these last few years, in the process of granting the autonomy for provincial governments and regencies government will assure the participations, the full participations of our people in terms of building Indonesia together. So we are optimistic that with the granting autonomy to each and every region in Indonesia, support from our populations, our people, to the integrity of our territory, to the unity of our country will even stronger.
Do you feel that that is the continued process? That is something that President Yudhoyono, for example, if he gets in, will continue to implement, try and give more autonomous power, but also keep a sense of integrity?
That's what he has been doing so far, and seems to be, and it's very successful in terms of getting all the people together and become really united as Indonesia.
And Ambassador, what sort of sense of security is there among the people? Of course, it wasn't that long ago we saw the bombs in Bali, and I was there in Bali soon after, and felt that sense of disappointment and people feeling that there was a sense of insecurity. How quickly has it bounced back? How much of a sense of security, national security, is there?
Well, as you may know, that even a country like United States, they have lifted the travel warning to their people to travel to Indonesia, and this is one of the only illustrations on how the security situations in Indonesia is getting better and better, and supported by many countries around Indonesia, seeing that Indonesia is growing as a strong and secure place for them to come and to become tourists.
Well, Ambassador, I want to thank you very much, Bambang, as well, Harimurti in Jakarta. Thanks for being with us at that hour there. Thank you both for this, and we'll keep an eye on the elections. Thank you. Thank you for being with us too. On the next show, we examine America's Africa policy as President Obama sets out on his first official visit to that continent. One of the leading figures on this topic, Congressman Donald Payne, joins us, so do send in your questions for that. Remember, you can follow me on the show on Facebook, where you'll get details of the upcoming topics. That's it from me and the team. We'll see you next time.